Hey there, everyone. My name is Atman Abbas. I am the head of digital at Where You, and today we're going to be talking about how to optimize your local business. Um, I've written a Where You bonus workshop title right on that board, if that's visible. But without any further ado, let's get right into our slideshow for today. And let me just share my screen really quick so that we can begin. Cool beans. All right. First off, the things we'll be covering: understanding your digital presence, Google My Business optimization, local SEO strategy, location page building. It technically falls under local SEO strategy, but it deserves a slide of its own. Paid advertising, Google Ads and Meta Ads, review and reputation management. This once again falls into the Google My Business profile, but because it is so important, it deserves its own slide as well. Social media engagement, so how you are, engaging with your audience on TikTok, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, and any other profile that you're on, even Pinterest. Content marketing and some other options that we set like shape for the end as well. But before I actually get into this, I do want to talk about local businesses. A lot of people think that a local business is a retail store in a particular suburb. Whilst correct, that's not the entire definition of what a local business is. A local business is actually anything, really. Every business is a local business. Let's take a big example, Amazon, right? There's so many different places in different countries where Amazon sells its product. But if you go to the Amazon US website, you'll be directed to a website called amazon.com/US/. But if you go to the Australian website, you'll be directed to a website called amazon.com.au. So even Amazon optimizes its website for a certain locality. When you go to Amazon, it shows you delivery options according to your suburb, according to your location, wherever you are. Uber Eats is another big example. They're available in so many countries, but they always optimize for certain locations as well. And it's not only because these are both delivery services. If you take another website, for example, Nike, that's not a particular delivery service, but they have to have local content. Localization doesn't just mean being there physically. It just means catering to that local audience, catering to that dynamic that you really want to target and serve. But taking it a lot more smaller, let's talk about a local restaurant or maybe even a local kebab shop in your area. Those businesses are highly local businesses. They're not able to serve maybe, for example, if they're based in Melbourne, they definitely won't be able to serve anyone based in Sydney. These are other local businesses. Regardless, they'll be targeting a much shorter area compared to Amazon, which is targeting entirely Australia. But e-com businesses, for example, which might be targeting all over Australia, or even certain states or certain suburbs, or even certain cities, they have to target accordingly as well. And there are a lot of factors that go into it, but we'll be covering all of it right now. So let's start with our first case study, which is Levine Coffee. This is a cafe that's based in Perth, and we'll just start off with it, all right? So I'm just going to open it as well in the background, and I'm going to go back to my slideshow. Alrighty. So understanding your digital presence. Your digital presence basically means how well you're perceived online. You may be a very popular retail store, but only people who know you know you. Anyone new would not know about you instantaneously unless they actually visit that particular place in person. Imagine looking for a new house in a suburb you're completely unaware of, and you move there. You eventually start living there. Or even better yet, you're vacationing and renting out an Airbnb somewhere else. Just because you're renting out a different Airbnb, you won't know that locality as well. It doesn't necessitate that you're going to know what's available in what store. So the first thing you're going to do is open up your phone, search Google, like go to Google and search for something like cafe near me or whatever business you want to go for, even a grocery store near me. And whatever comes up first in this little area here, which is called the knowledge pack, this is going to guide and inform a lot of your decision making. There's going to be a lot of local searches as well, but this, what you get here, has the highest click-through rate compared to all the other search results. So something you probably might already have as a business, especially with us at Where You, is you probably have a website or landing page on high level. You've got a social media profile, Facebook, Instagram. Have to have that if you're doing Meta ads. Do you have a Google business profile though? Google Business Profiles were previously known as Google My Business. So now they've been recently renamed for whatever reason. Google does all the weird things Google does, but it is what it is. But what are other things that you can have? Is there a local community that you're maybe catering? Perhaps even multiple franchises. So let's actually look at an example, right? Levine Coffee is the example we're talking about. Now, although when I search Levine Coffee, I'm getting the first result as a website, their entire whole website, and they've got like a shit ton of reviews as well. But they've got two different Google business locations because, excuse me, because they serve two different locations. Now, if you actually go to their website, you can see under cafes, they've got multiple locations. But what they're missing is the other two locations and Google business profiles for those other two locations as well. Either way, for each particular location, they've got a landing page. They're meeting all checkboxes. They're ticking all the boxes. They know what they're doing. They're getting everything right. Right? Next up, Google My Business, or the newer name for it, Google Business Profiles. They can be divided into two factors, ranking factors and conversion factors. Ranking factors basically means all the things that will help you appear in that knowledge pack that we're talking about. So you see this knowledge pack right here, and read all the things that actually help you rank over here. Not everything would help you rank. Some things are just conversion factors. So for example, images, profile descriptions, business attributes, posts and offers, which you can make on your Google business profile. Listing accuracy, so how complete your profile is, how well have you used the same name. For example, Levine, is it la slash la hyphen Veen, or is it Levine, or is it actually one word spelled out? So even that level of accuracy is important. And product and service listings. So this is very much true. So for example, over here where you see order collection, or in some restaurant cases, you might even see a menu option. So these are all different attributes that you can add to your Google business profile. But those are all conversion factors. They're important because they show a complete profile. They show a business that cares about its local search presence. So any profile that has more of this is actually more likely to convert users because you're informing more users about what your business does, helping them. Because once again, remember, when you search for cafes near me, you're not going to go visit their website. You're just going to see their profile, a quick snapshot of everything that they have to offer. And that's when you're going to either click directions or you're going to click the next available option that you have. But things that actually help you rank are your business name, your website link, and business categories. But the most important thing I would say is reviews as well. This reviews thing is a lot more important recently because Google found out that a lot more people can do SEO now. So they've actually been focusing a lot more on reviews, but not just quantity of reviews, it's always quality of reviews. So as a customer visited, because Google has the data, it knows if you visit that location or if you use Google directions or whatever way you really needed to navigate over there. But those reviews, how complete they are. So do they have images as a and how many reviews that particular person has given as well. There's a lot of factors that go into it, which makes reviews quite an important ranking reason on your Google business profile. Business categories, they're sort of like a filter that you use on a blog page, or even when you're going to buy something and you want to put on a price filter that I want something between 10,000 to 20,000, etc., etc. These are big numbers, but they are what they are. The business categories, in the case of Levine Coffee, business categories would be cafe, it would be coffee roasters, it would be maybe available for breakfast, dining in experience. There's a different, Google gives a list of business categories and try to add as many business categories as you can within your profile. We're going to do a little test for this right now. Website link, as we just saw that Levine does have website links. It doesn't have to necessarily take them to that location specific landing page, but as long as you have a website link, that's really important. And your business name, Levine Coffee King Street. They could have just said Levine King Street. They could have just said Coffee King Street. But the fact that they wrote Levine Coffee King Street is a complete business name. It targets the keyword that they want to target, which is coffee, which is their primary product. Having a business name with your keyword or with your service type is a very important ranking factor. A case study that I've worked on previously is a restaurant that a Japanese restaurant that was a client of mine. And something that I did for their Google business profile as soon as I got it was, so the business thing was, let's suppose, where are you dining? Unfortunately, I can't disclose the name. But if the business name was where are you dining, I just added the word Japanese. So it was where are you Japanese dining. Adding that one keyword in helped them rank a lot more faster and increased the amount of people visiting their website by, I think, around 150% over 3 months, which was intense. And it was such a small change, but it made a world of difference. So let's look at business categories. All right, we're going to go here and we're going to go to our favorite place called google.com. And we're going to say cafes in Perth. All right, and you see here, we've got all of these cafes coming up. I'm going to use the little plugin that I have to add actually. And it's called the Phantom GBP tool, something that you all can use as well. I'm going to put this in the search as soon as my internet works for me. Add this extension. What it does is, as soon as it's added, I'm going to refresh my search and you can see what's going to happen. So you see these little other things that's coming up, coffee shop, cafe. The lightning mark shows that it's the primary category. So as soon as I search cafes in Perth, Google knows that cafes probably means coffee shops and it matches you accordingly. So it uses these category options to understand what's going to come up. Make sense? Cool. I really hope so. Next up, what do we have next? Let's talk about your local SEO strategy. I think some things that you do want to factor in is NAP, N-A-P. So on every location page, you want to have your name, your address, and your phone number. I've added a little screenshot from Levine. So as you can see, they've got their business, like their location name, which is Rain Square. They've got their address there. Actually, their address is Rain Square. The name of the website already is Levine, so they've got it right there. And they've added contact information. That's a bit as you scroll towards the end of the page. But even Australian laser and skin clinics, right? Every time you go to a particular location page that they have, for example, page from Melbourne, you'll see that they'll have added the name, address, and phone number. These are important things to add on your location pages and even on your website overall, because they are what helps users contact you. From an e-commerce perspective, a lot of them might not have addresses, but then again, at least they have a name, an email address, and a phone number. So there's always information that you can give that makes it possible for customers to reach you, contact you, get in touch with you in any way, right? Another factor that you can do to improve your local online presence is adding a suburb or location on particular page titles or even creating localized content. So a good example here is Australian Laser and Skin Clinics. They've used the word Melbourne around 4 times in this little paragraph here. And this is a very optimized landing page. So as soon as I searched for skin clinics in Melbourne, I got Australian Laser and Skin Clinics come up first for me, because they've really targeted that keyword and they've really optimized the content for that particular location. Some off-page local SEO techniques include titles and meta descriptions and adding schema markups. Now you might be wondering, what titles and meta descriptions? So titles and meta descriptions are basically the first thing you see when you search for things on Google. So this right here is a title. This right here is a meta description. There's limits on each of them, but adding them. Now, the one important thing to remember is that titles are a ranking factor, but meta descriptions are just a conversion factor. They're not a ranking factor. However, it is important to have a perfectly good conversion factor as well. All right. So here's an example of some companies that actually use a lot of their location information on titles and meta descriptions. Impressive digital marketing company based in Melbourne. They've got a very good title. They've got Melbourne right in that area. They've got Melbourne again in the meta description. And similarly with Jim's Mowing, you've got Melbourne right in the title, and then you've got Melbourne once again in the meta description. And the reason you want to have this is because it provides surety that this is a business serving a particular local area. So if I'm searching for Melbourne, if I'm searching for Jim's Mowing Services, I'm gonna get the landing page for Jim's Mowing and Garden Services in Melbourne. Cool. All right. Next up, schema markup. Now this is a bit of the technical side, but schema is basically a code that all of these search engines, and this is back like in 2008 or 2009, I think. Don't quote me on that. But this is back in those years when all of these search engines, including Yahoo, Bing, and I don't even remember the other ones, MSN, I think. But all of these people like came up together and they're like, hey, there's a lot of content that's being published on websites. How do you make it easier for our resources to read that content? Once again, Google is technically free to search on. So that free aspect comes because they eventually obviously want to make a very premium user experience. And because they have a very good premium user experience, they can actually do ads and other things to make money. But getting that experience was really good. So they made schema markup code, which basically makes it very easy for search engine bots to understand what's on the website. The definition, the text definition is schema markup is a code or semantic vocabulary that you put in a website to help search engines return more informative results for users. It enhances your website's rich snippets, which can improve how your pages display in search engines and increases click-through rates. This word right here, rich snippets, you see how when I search for Aluminum Trade Center, I can actually get these like site links. Normally you probably have seen these options when you're doing ads, but this is organic site links. It gives you more real estate on a landing page. So, if you have one result right after the other, you can probably see a lot more options. But having these site links or having these rich snippets gives you more real estate. So a user sees more of your website and more of your company, which increases their chances of clicking through. Schema is not a ranking factor, but it's a very, very, very good conversion factor and something that I really recommend doing. The thing that I do recommend from a local perspective is not only adding this like 100 different schema types, but some schema types that you would really want to focus on includes web page schema, organization schema, and local business schema. They're very easy to make. There's a website called, and I've got this right here, schema.org. So you can actually go to schema.org and you can go to, if you want to check if your website has schema, just go to validate. Yes, I'm not a robot. Probably doing that because I'm on a Zoom meeting. And you can paste in your URL. So let's say Levine. We're gonna copy paste this right here. And it's gonna tell me if it works really. So you can see that Levine has organization schema embedded within themselves. And then if you just search create schema markup, and you search maybe schema.org, maybe. Actually, you might use Merkle. This is a very good tool as well. So you can just go here, select local business, and fill in this information. And it's very simple. And then just copy paste this little code and paste it on the header code of your website, and you are golden. Next up, paid advertising, something that we all know and love very dearly. I think this is quite obvious, but with Google Ads, you can target very specific locations, even according to radius, according to suburbs, according to city, and that's the same story with Meta Ads as well. So when I'm talking about these things, I actually mean, so you see how AK Skin and Laser Clinic is probably taking the first page, although it's sponsored, it's taking the first position when I search for skin and laser treatments. The reason is within their ad section, they've probably gone and enabled location assets. So here's a quick way to do it. Click the assets drop down in the section in your Google Ads account, click the campaigns icon, and then within the campaigns icon, click the assets drop down in the section menu, click assets, then click the plus button and just add in your location assets. And you should be able to do like knowledge, like ads within the Google Knowledge Pack as well. All right. Next up, reviews and reputation management. Now, the impact of reviews is very important in GDP rankings, as we told you guys about it before, but there are a lot of ways for you to get more reviews. A good example is you can get like a review link and you can probably build the QR code out of it. You can embed it as a QR, like you can use that QR code, put it at the back of your business cards. You can ask your customers, like via email or via SMS, once you've serviced them or once you've served them in any way, to actually give you reviews. And Google genuinely loves reviews with images, all right? But what's more important than actually just getting, I wouldn't say more important, but what's as important as getting reviews is also responding to reviews. And that doesn't just mean responding to positive reviews, also responding to negative reviews, because Google sees that. You can flag negative reviews, obviously, but if you still respond to negative reviews, it shows other customers as well that you care. And if you respond in a way, like for example, a customer said, "Hey, I bought these AirPods from you and they suck. Like, I hate them." A good response would be, "Hey, I'm sorry you had to face that. Perhaps you could come back in store and we can look at replacements or even using the warranty to fix them up for you." A good review always improves the customer experience. And they might, you don't know, they might even go back and change their negative review just because you responded so well quickly. Social media engagement. Now, this is something that's quite near and dear to me as well. So very often when I can't sleep, I actually watch like these roofing videos, which I have no idea why I do that. But these roofing videos, for example, actually help create an identity for your business. It gives social proof that you're actually doing work and you're not just like, scamming them based on what's on the website. But it also shows that you are an active part of the social media community, which means if you are on social media and if you're actively posting and engaging with your clients on social media, that also means it's a further reflection that you're probably also active and engaging with the clients in person. And that's always a positive outlook. Some other things that you can really do is create Facebook groups and online check-ins. So online check-ins thing was something that a cafe near me did once. I think it doesn't apply to every business, obviously. But if you check in online, especially for restaurants and any business that's in the food industry, you could get maybe a free cookie or a free juice, or maybe even a $10 off voucher for the next time. It's very important. And Facebook groups, for example, if you're someone in the construction business, or even someone within, like, let's suppose, any other B2B circle, you can always create Facebook groups or online groups on WhatsApp or whichever social media platform you want to use. And that creates engagement. It also creates a good network between your customers and once again builds trust with you as a business. Regular posting, engaging with followers, and utilizing local hashtags. Local hashtags is whatever is happening in Melbourne. For example, hashtag Melbourne, hashtag hiking in Melbourne, whatever your business caters to. And adding a location to each post. So you see how ZMH Roofing has added they've added their location within their post. This helps target. So Instagram, once again, is also somewhat of a search engine. And so is Facebook, so is TikTok. So adding these locations really helps you get within everyone's discovery feed, especially for people searching within that proximity. It doesn't mean that they have to be interested within roofing. I don't know, some random day. I've never probably searched roofing in my life, but I probably saw one roofing reel on my Instagram one day and I was like, oh shit, I'm hooked. And the reason that happened was because there's a suburb near where I live called Craigieburn, and there's a roofer over there who posted a reel about it with the location. And because I saw that, I was just hooked to roofing videos. And someday when I buy my own house, I'm probably gonna get that guy to do that roofing for me. That's because I remember like his business name and his social media profile, and I've engaged with it as well. Next up, content marketing. So this year we have an example of activefeed.com.au. These guys are they're obviously a Melbourne-based store. They sell shoes online as well. But what they've done is they've actually produced a blog for the Melbourne Marathon, and writing location-based or event-based blogs for certain locations as well. It's a really good way to promote your content. So if, for example, if I'm participating in the Melbourne Marathon and I want to search for shoes, they're very likely to show up because I'll be like, shoes to wear for the Melbourne Marathon, for example. And because they're using all of those keywords, they're using Melbourne Marathon, they're a business that actually sells shoes, so Google recognizes that. There's a very high chance of them showing up. And for me to become a customer of that particular business. It's a very important thing that e-commerce stores can actually integrate. I know that local business optimization is always a challenge for a lot of e-commerce stores, but doing it this way, for example, if you're based in Perth, you could talk about Perth Marathon or something else happening in Perth. Maybe even a rave party that's happening somewhere in Perth, and you could talk about that and what shoes are best to dance in, or whatever your business model is really. But having location-specific content can go a very long way towards your cause on increasing your local online presence. Some more options that you can get. So one thing I always get from Anytime Fitness is these messages to join their gym. I clearly should sometime, like I definitely should, but either way, that's a argument for another day. But other ways to do it is email marketing. So you collect your emails through your subscriptions, through your clients, to people who sign up to your newsletters, etc., etc. And even for people who come in store and sometimes get a loyalty card or whatever. So they collect their emails and they send emails to them, especially when there's a promotion or something going on within the locality. So a good example is obviously Anytime Fitness, but also the Spotlight Uni. I've gone there once in the past 2 years, and I gave them my information just once because I was getting a 10% discount. But they send all of these promotions that encourage me to check it out at least. JB Hi-Fi is another great example of promotions from SMS and email marketing. They have catalogs coming out every month, and I've got like tech that I barely even use, but it's because of those email and SMS marketing promotions and that awareness that I get as a customer. As a previous customer, I become a returning customer and I continue to buy anything that I find remotely relevant to my life, even in the future. Influencer marketing, I know that option is not available for most, but once again, as we talked about social media engagement previously, you could be your own business's influencer, or you could get an influencer. If you can, why not? Get someone popular, or get a friend of a friend who does like Instagram reels it's very popular on Instagram, and tell them to do a post that, hey guys, getting my tiles done from this very new tiles company. They're pretty good. Check it out. And I don't know, that might blow your business up. The not so digital options, although this is a digital presence workshop, I still felt that I would want to like add them in, are billboards, even like putting up flyers in your local supermarket, or the most amazing thing that you can do is car ads. So paying $1,200 or to $1,500 to someone and printing a big ass promotion for your business on their car or on your own car if you're willing to do that. But is this all? I feel like, these are pretty much all the important things to cover. There's one more thing that I feel is, and I know for a fact is very important, that no other blog or even no other marketing agency talks about in particular. They do talk about it, but not in the way that you'd expect them to talk about it. Voice search. So a study by Ahrefs, for example, found that more than 70% of featured snippets come from the first 3 websites in search results. To optimize for voice search, use conversational language, long-tail keywords, and structured data markup. A FAQ page is an effective way to optimize for voice queries. Local SEO is important since voice searchers often seek out local businesses or services like phone numbers and directions. Now, the best example of this is, imagine you're driving. You can't type when you're driving. If you do, don't do it. It's dangerous. But you can't type while you're driving, so you're probably going to use your voice assistant. I sometimes go like, hey Siri, can you drop me off at a petrol station? Or even more relevant, what's a good restaurant that I can eat at, especially when I'm driving at 9 p.m. back home from work or whatever. And it's true for almost all of these AI assistants. They use rich snippets that we discovered, which is schema. They use long tail keywords that once again goes back to on-page local SEO stuff that we can cover, and conversational language. This means not using AI primarily, but also making all of your content more human. Talking to people as if they're people, not just like another textbook person reading some definition of a dictionary. I don't know, but you don't want to do that. Here's an example, right? I asked ChatGPT to give me a social media engagement example for a local business. It gave me this example, a bakery showcasing their daily specials on Instagram and engaging with local food bloggers. I searched the same thing on Google, and this is the example I got. A local bakery that uses Instagram to showcase their daily specials and new products. This is a prime example of how voice search, ChatGPT, all of these new, even AI, as it grows, how AI is going to affect your local page, affect your local presence. And the reason I wanted to put this slide in as importantly as I did is because this is where schema, creating localized content, creating long tail keywords optimized content, and on-page local SEO optimized content, but more importantly, conversational language content, very important. All right. I'm just gonna go up to ask any questions if there are. And thank you. Thank you all for your time today. Hope you guys enjoyed today's lecture. Once again, always feel free to reach out on school or even on email if you want. And looking forward to hearing more from you guys. Thanks.